All right, guys, welcome to the first episode of Dropship Weekly for this new year. I'll start by saying Happy New Year. Hope everyone had a really good time, celebrated a lot, but most importantly, wrote out a plan for the next 12 months. So there was a really good thread over on our Facebook group, and basically it was talking about goal setting and what everyone's trying to accomplish this year. And people have some really big goals, which is amazing. But the thing that I just wanted to briefly hit on is actually how I do this, because hopefully it could help you. Basically, at the beginning of every year, I do set out 12-month goal. So this is like a big kind of generalized number. That's usually what I do. I base things on numbers. So a big number, and then from there, I break that down into quarters. So where do I have to be in 3 months, in 6 months, in 9 months to get to that place in 12 months? It really helps because it also keeps you on track. You can look at the first small part of the goal 3 months from now and think, did I hit this? Did I get there? And even, shorter than that, in the first month, well, am I making the right kind of progress? In month 2, am I getting closer? In month 3, did I hit that target? So really good stuff, guys. I love the goals that people are setting, and I know that people are going to hit them because the people with the biggest goals right now already are finding success, making a lot of sales, doing well, so they're just going to grow their businesses from there. I wanted to mention one thing, though, which I've talked about before, but this book right here, it's called Do the Work. It's by Stephen Pressfield, and I'm going to link to it below this video so people can go buy it because it's like a $10 book that's, so worth it. The author of this book wrote another book called The War of Art, okay? And this one's called Do the Work. This is like his own like entrepreneur's Cliff Notes version. Maybe, like 100 pages, if that. And it basically talks about the struggle of when you have something to do. You have to go create something. You have to go work on something. But there's that resistance when you find yourself just not doing it for whatever reason it may be. This book, I found after probably like 8 years of running successful business, and it's still every page I read of this, I was like, yes, I've been there. And even now, I still get that feeling. It doesn't go away, that resistance feeling. But this book has some really good tips on breaking through and pushing through that resistance. So definitely check it out. I'd recommend reading it right now because, again, 2017 just started. You got a year of goals to achieve. With that being said, everyone, we had some really good questions, as always, in the Facebook group and on the forum this week. So I'm going to get into this week's episode of Dropship Weekly, get them all answered, and yeah, let's go over to the computer. All right, guys, here we go. Episode 21. I want to kick this episode off with a success story and just like a positive post. Start the new year off, right? This one was from Pascal, and he basically just said he started the new year off with sale number 2 sales in the day, which is awesome because he's found success last year with this model. And now, first day of the new year, just boom, kicking it off with a bang. But what I really wanted to call attention to is that, just like everyone else, I'm sure, he said he had his doubts when he first started working with us at Dropship Lifestyle. And he thought maybe you just have to pick the right niche and, who knows, maybe things will work, maybe they won't. But he's really saying, since he signed up, Dropship Lifestyles helped him so he could even sell ice to Eskimos, which is awesome. So I just want to say thank you for sharing this. Thank you for keeping other people motivated, and congratulations on starting the new year off with a bang. Next, I wanted to definitely call out this post, which was posted from Ernest Epps in our Facebook group. And he asked that I, kind of give my advice on this. And what's really cool, I got to say, for anyone who's part of our Facebook community or our forum specifically, definitely go to the Fast Business Forum and look at this post there because there's so many amazing responses about what Ernest should do. Basically, he's trying to make more money and scale, right? Why not? Who doesn't want to do that? So I'll give you some quick advice based on what I could see here. What I would ask that Ernest do is grant me access to his AdWords account. That way I'll be able to actually dive into the campaigns, which is where I'll see where it could really be improved. This is like a starting point, and I'll give advice based on it. But if Ernest wants to give me access to his AdWords account, I'll dive deeper into it and maybe make a follow-up segment on this in next week's Dropship Weekly. But the main thing that I want to say here, let's just work on the first campaign, right? This is a campaign that Ernest is running. It's Google Shopping, running on desktop, and you could see he has a 0.85 CTR, which is click-through ratio. You could see he's only spending 11 cents per click, which is amazing. You could see that it costs him $4.27 to get a conversion. Now, the reason that's so amazing is because his average order size is $800, and he's making $160 profit per sale. So what would I do with this data, with what I could see here, again, without having access to the whole picture, the whole story, which would be clicking into this campaign? I would spend more money. And listen, I know that sounds obvious, but here's how I would do it, because I wouldn't just go in and just say, here's more money, Google. But again, Ernest right now is spending $4.27 to make 160. So Ernest, what you should do and what everyone watching this video should do is decide how much you're actually willing to spend to get that sale. This is the first thing that we do. We actually pick that number. So let's just say that Ernest says, I'm willing to spend up to $20 to make $160 net profit, right? To get a $800 sale. So if that number then is $20 that you're willing to spend for your conversion, you need to figure out how big you can grow this, how many impressions you can get, how many clicks you can get, and basically how big you can grow the business off that target number. That's what we do. Then we work backwards. So how I would scale it, let's just say that was the number, the $20 per conversion you're willing to go up to. I would start by going into this campaign and seeing what impression share you're currently getting. Now, if it's something that's super low, that means you're not appearing a lot. That means you're not getting the impressions for the terms. And that probably, well, it means one of two things. One is your CPC is too low. Another is that your CPC isn't too low, but your daily budget is getting maxed out every day. And this is really hard for me to explain unless I'm like, I guess in your account clicking around. But just know that, let's just say your daily budget is exhausted every day. That's actually a good thing for you because that means your CPC isn't too low, and that means you should focus on increasing your daily budget for that campaign. So if it was $10, picking a random number here, and it's getting maxed out every day, scale it up, make it 15, make it 20, see if your CPC maintains, see if you still max that out and grow it and grow it and grow it while maintaining those low CPCs. Now, if your daily budget is something like $100, but this campaign's only spending $20 per day because you're not getting enough impressions, there's not enough traffic behind it, it's because your CPC has to go up. Not the worst thing in the world. If you want to think of it this way, based on your current conversion rate, right, it costs you the $4.27. So let's just say we're going to 5x that. You're willing to spend up to 5 times more to get a sale. Well, if your CPC has to go up to 50 cents then, even if that's what it has to be at the end of the day to get that much more traffic, then you're spending you're spending $20 per conversion, right? Which is a lot more, but that might be what it takes to get those extra people, to get more impressions, to get more clicks, okay? So that's really what you have to think about and work backwards from there. I'm trying to explain this in a few minutes here. It's explained in great detail in our AdWords PPC course, but again, more than happy to actually go into your account, kind of look at the next level of data, and then give more concrete, I guess, action tasks based on that. But what I just said is what I would do based off only this data. If this is all I had and I had to make a decision, that's what I would do. Because, obviously you could see down where your mobile devices with full browsers is getting you $20 CPA, cost per acquisition, well worth it still with the money you're making from each sale. A couple other quick things that I've noted just by looking at this one screenshot. I would definitely try to get all of your CTRs above 1%. The 0.85 is super low. I'm assuming there's some outliers in there that are much higher and some that are much lower. So I would also segment my campaigns. Again, I have to see inside the account though to see what we're actually working with and what we're looking at. The other thing I would say as far as getting the CTR up is doing things like making sure your product images are crisp and really clean and showing off that product. Obviously, imagery has a lot to do with Google Shopping, but I know you know that, so you've probably done it already. The only other thing I'll say based on what I could see here is, I just said maybe you're willing to get your CPC up to, 40 or 50 cents or so. That's not something you would do right away at all. You would slowly scale it, maybe 10, 20% every few days and just see how it maintains, right? Because obviously you do want to spend more money. You want to spend a lot more money. And if I owned your store, I would spend a ton of money on traffic trying to scale this thing. But you want to do it smart, right? So you want to do it slow, you want to take your time, and how you scale is going to be based on if your current campaign's daily budget is exhausted or if it's not. So that's probably the main takeaway I can give you based on what I see here. All right, guys, with that being said, let's get into the next question this week, or the next comment, I should say. This is from Alex, and he said, I'm not sure if anyone else has experienced this, but he just watched himself lose a sale on Lucky Orange. So sorry to hear that. It sucks. It's good, but it's bad, right? You learned by getting data. It was because when people were clicking add to cart, it was set to modal, not page. So I want to show you what he means here. He saw someone click add to cart 17 times, and it seems like that person thought the website was broken, right? So let me actually switch screens here. I'm going to pull up one of our stores and I'm going to show you how to do this so you can not experience the same thing that Alex experienced. So the website that I have up right now is called enlightenchandeliers.com. This is one of the dropship lifestyle demo sites. And you'll see here, when I click add to cart, it comes up like this, right? So here's the product, it's in the cart. You could change what happens when someone clicks to add to cart. Okay, so this is something that's totally customizable. And here's how it's done. Now I'm in the back end of Shopify. I'm in themes. I'm gonna go to customize theme. Again, this is using the dropship lifestyle Shopify theme. And then I'm going to click right over here on the left where it says cart page. And you see here, it lets you do different things, right? Cart type. You could have drawer, and that's the one you just saw. You can have modal. This is what Alex had. So let me just save it, and I'll show you what that looks like. I'll come back here, and I'll refresh it. And this is the beauty of Lucky Orange, to actually watch other people's screens like this. But see, I just clicked add to cart, and it pops up like that. And it also shows one in the cart. But here is what we like to do for most of our stores. This does vary from store to store. I should say that. It's kind of based on what you're selling and based on if you're going to offer the customer anything else, have any upsells. But what I want to show you here is when it's set to page. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to just refresh it. And then what's going to happen when I click add to cart is it's going to take me right to the cart page, okay? So for most products that are one-off purchases, that's what you want. You want to have it set like this. So boom, they click add to cart, they're in the cart, they're ready to go to take that next action. Okay, with that being said, let's jump back into the keynote. And this is kind of like a word of warning that was shared by Gloria, and it was about a potential fraud. Someone had contacted her site, said they wanted to buy like 100 units of a product and or 50 of one, 50 of another, and basically they wanted to have it shipped to Ethiopia. And it was you could if you want to read this whole thing, you could pause it and read it. But I just wanted to let you know, like she didn't get scammed by this. She realized that it was a fraud, and that's great. But I want everyone just to know that things like this definitely happen all the time. There's people that are trying to take advantage of you every day, and be smart. If something sounds too good to be true, it is. And if something even seems like it's potentially a little bit fraudulent, it probably is. So always do the research, always look into things, and opportunities that pop up like this, even though you might be thinking like, wow, I'm about to make, tens of thousands of dollars. Don't do it. Even if they're going to send you money, it's going to get taken back from you somehow, and it's going to lead to disaster. So just a quick word of warning on that. And then this, I don't know where this came from. I had to share this because Kyle created a poll in our Facebook group this week, and he said, do you need to write a lot of fake product reviews? Did you need to write a lot of fake product reviews before you started making steady sales? And LOL no is obviously the winner, but someone wrote in the answer, yes, I do whatever Anton tells me to do. I've never told anyone to write fake product reviews, okay? I'm sure you've heard that from other places, but let's be clear on that. Go back to Dropship Lifestyle. Go back through the course again. I don't say to write fake product reviews. I tell you how you can get product reviews from your supplier. I tell you how you can ask them for people that have reviewed their products already and use those, but I don't say write fake product reviews, okay? That you did not get that from me. Whoever entered that one in. No, if you want to do whatever I told you to do, don't use fake product reviews. That's bad. Don't do it. And you obviously don't need to based on everyone else's results as well. Next post this week that I wanted to share is from G, and someone just asked him, one of his suppliers, is will you be advertising on any of the marketplaces? And he was a little confused of what this meant. So what I would say to answer this question to a supplier or to anyone you're working with is, I wouldn't just say, am I allowed to, but I would read their policies first. So when they're talking about marketplaces, they're talking about eBay and they're talking about Amazon and different places like that. And a lot of the good suppliers, the gold suppliers, they won't let you sell on eBay or Amazon or those sites. They don't want you to. They want you to sell through your own site, right? They don't want to be on marketplaces. So the answer would be no, but make sure you read through their terms, because if you just say like, oh yeah, definitely, they might say, well, then we're not going to work with you, right? So read through their terms, see what their policy is on selling on places like eBay or Amazon. Again, if they're a really good supplier, it's going to say, no, you can't sell there. Next is a really good tip that Sean mentioned, so I wanted to call attention to this. And he said, has anyone ever thought to request a bestsellers report from your top suppliers to help decide which products to feature on your homepage, etc.? And yeah, Joanna said she's done this, and yeah, you should do it. So there's a couple different things that we do with this, right? We will go to, when we're first getting into new niches, go to our biggest competitor sites, and we'll see not just which suppliers they feature on their homepage, we'll see which products they feature because these are going to be the best sellers. And we will also do this when we're getting approved for suppliers, when we're having the conversation, we ask them, which of your products are the best sellers? Which should we feature? Which should we promote to our audience? Which sell the most? And they're more than happy to give you this information. So Sean, yeah, you're definitely thinking the right direction, and it's it's a great idea. Everyone should do this. There's no reason why not to. Because again, I've mentioned this before, but a lot of our stores, we have thousands of products, and there's like a few dozen that sell. So why not just ask and know which ones to focus on from the beginning? This next post I did want to call attention to. Not really sure what we're going to get out of it, but we'll find out once more people complete the survey. Preston created a survey. All the data is public, so we can all see the results. It's not like some hidden thing where he's trying to steal your niche or anything. In fact, you're not entering any information about the products you sell, but it's a survey that you could find on our forum, and basically it'll ask you some questions about things like the price point of your product, how many competitors you have, things on Google, specifically on Google Shopping, to try to identify any huge data that we can get on how to just dominate, if there's a common theme amongst every store. So again, it's not asking for any personal information. You're not going to get your niche copied or anything, but if you do fill out this survey, we'll have a bigger sample size, I guess, of people that fill it out, and that'll help us determine if there's anything that we should all do moving forward with our Google ads. So look for this post in the Facebook group and on the forum. You will have to be obviously a member of Dropship Lifestyle to be part of this. Next, I just wanted to hit on this because it got brought up a couple times this week. I did address it in the Facebook group, but for anyone that didn't read that, Amazon made a big announcement. I saw it on CPC Strategy. I'm not sure where it got announced, but they're going to start advertising on PLAs, so with Google Shopping. So people are obviously concerned, and the post I saw was like a bunch of experts weighing in on what's going to happen now, because obviously Amazon, I don't know how many millions of products they have, but they're going to be advertising, competing on this marketplace. The biggest thing that I would say, and I read this, this isn't my original thought, but this is what I got from the post that I read that I agree with 100%. The way that Amazon advertises on search text ads, so traditional search text ads on Google, is very broad. It's not like this super targeted specific thing, and I don't want to say it's easy to compete with them, but it kind of is. It's more of this broad campaign, like a catch-all type thing. So I think for everyone that just keeps doing what they should be doing already, monitoring their AdWords accounts every 2 weeks, going in there, making optimizations, making sure you're only getting shown for super specific search terms, I think there's still plenty of room. Obviously, we'll see what happens. I wouldn't be surprised if bids did creep up a bit, but it's not the end of the world. And I'll link to the article from CPC Strategy as well for anyone that wants to read through a bunch of different people's perspectives as well. But that's kind of my take on it. Just keep doing what you should be doing already. Be super targeted, be super specific, and I think everyone's going to be fine. This next post, again, I had to call attention to. This is from Zafan, and he's such a cool guy. So I actually met him at a little meetup that we did out here in Austin, and he is just saying that he's averaging 20% margin, right? So what's that? A little over 4K in profit, been in business for 4 months. And I just love what he said here, because he said this is his first store. He literally had no previous business or internet marketing experience. He's also a non-native English speaker. He's in a super competitive niche. There's over 100 people on PLAs competing with him. He had so many excuses that he wanted to quit when it was getting hard, but he said consistent hard work every day helped him achieve the goal that he wrote about. And, he's just thanking everyone, all the coaches that helped him, the course, and saying Happy New Year. So, dude, congratulations. This is amazing. And this just shows, guys, literally no excuses, right? No, you can't make excuses. And I'm so proud of this guy, and I'm really excited to see what happens next year. Let me grab this book one more time to show you. Read this book. It's amazing. It's going to help you in the new year. Again, it's linked below. Do the work, Stephen Pressfield. And one final thing with, this whole dropship lifestyle thing we do here, if you're not part of our course yet, you're not part of the community, definitely click the button here or below this video. Go through our mini course. It's free. It's 10 days long. It'll help you determine if working with us here at Dropship Lifestyle is for you or not. So that being said, guys, Happy New Year once again. Wish you all the best this coming year in 2017, and I'll see you next week for Dropship Weekly. Thank you.